10mm socket and ratchet, we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove our battery terminals. Using a 13mm socket, we're going to go ahead and remove the bolts securing this side bracket on the side. We're going to use a pick to release our little lock here. You just press down on this little tab right here and disconnect that. Go ahead and set your harness bracket aside here like that. I'm going to loosen our oil cap, remove this. Let's go ahead and pop off our engine cover here. Reinstall our oil fill cap and set the cover aside. On the passenger side lower corner of the radiator is your drain plug. You want to have your drain bucket underneath. And we're going to turn our drain plug counterclockwise. It's a little tight and sometimes can be a little tough to get into. You probably use a pair of pliers. Get in there to assist you with turning this. Now once we're done draining, go ahead and reach back up and we're going to tighten up that drain plug by turning it clockwise and get that snug. Use some rust penetrant on your hardware here. These 4 bolts we're going to remove. Using a 15mm wrench and our ratchet, let's go ahead and loosen these bolts. Go ahead and remove our bolts. I'm going to reinstall our nuts onto those bolts. Go ahead and remove those mounts. Go around your electric fan assembly and remove any of the harnesses and clips attached to it. Be a couple down below. You can use your trim tool or a similar pry tool to go ahead and pop these connectors off. On the back of each motor, there's an electrical connector. Pull out on the tab and push the connector off. Do the same for both. On each side of the upper portion of the cooling fan or radiator, there's going to be a bracket. There's one here, one on the other side. They're held in with a 10mm bolt. And you use our socket and remove these. Good, remove that bolt, work that bracket out, repeat for the other side. On the passenger side of the radiator fan, we have a 10mm bolt here, just underneath the upper radiator hose. Go ahead and remove this. There's one in the center. Let's go ahead and loosen and remove this one as well. And on the driver's side, we have one right here by the airbox. Once that's loose, you should be able to reach on in there and take that out by hand. Good, and you can use your pliers or your removal tool for your upper radiator hose clamp here. Go ahead and grab your radiator fan unit. Go ahead and pull that up and out. Let's lower our fan down into place. As the fan lowers down, it'll pop into little resting tabs on the radiator on both the driver and passenger side. And take our bracket right here, goes over the center, goes over both the condenser and the radiator. Go ahead and get that bolt started. Let's go ahead and install our bolts on each side of the radiator. Just get that snugged up by hand, repeat for the other side. All right, now that we have all three of those bolts in, let's go ahead and snug them down. Just want to snug that down. Let's go ahead and install our mounting brackets. Just press those down into place. Repeat for the driver's side. Bring that back. Let's go ahead and get our bolt started. Get that bolt started there. Let's go ahead and snug these down. Go ahead and install your wiring harness. There's going to be several clips running around and below the fan unit itself. Connect your fan up here. Line that up and snap that into place. going to go ahead and install our upper radiator hose. Let's get install our bracket here. All right, let's go ahead and tighten those down. All right, let's go ahead and tighten these down. And line up our dog bone here. Get the nut installed there. Just grab that motor and rock it back over, pop that bolt in and get that nut started. Let's go ahead and tighten these bolts down. Install our ground terminal here. Bring our positive terminal over. Go ahead and snug down our terminal here. I'm going to check these terminals, make sure they're nice and tight. I'm going to place our boot back on the top here. Let's go ahead and connect our connector here. Line that up, press that on. You'll feel it click into place. Then you want to press on our little gray lock tab, lock that down. We're going to come on over to our radiator cap. We're going to open this up. I'm going to spin this off. We want to get ready to fill this. This is a GM motor here. We want to go ahead and use the recommended coolant for the system, which would be your Dex Cool. We're going to spin on our adapter here and put our funnel on. I'm going to go ahead and slowly fill this up until the spout has coolant added. So keep on filling this up. Use your appropriate mix, 50-50, and the coolant that is required for your model application. While filling this up, you want to also go ahead and periodically look underneath for any leaks. Now on our particular application here with our reservoir, we can go ahead and fill this up, let the coolant sit here. If you don't have the style here, what you're going to do is fill up to the top of the neck here, and you're going to put your cap on loosely. You don't want to secure it. As the engine heats up, it's going to build up pressure, and you do not want to remove this cap when there's hot pressure built up there. What we're going to do next is start the vehicle. We're going to let it run. Going to bring it up to about 2,500 RPMs for about 40 seconds, and then let it come back to idle. And we're going to do this 3 times. Going to watch for the coolant to purge or bubble and let any air pockets come out. Then we're going to come back around and go ahead and add coolant as necessary. Now once we get this vehicle up to operating temperature, the thermostat should open up and absorb the rest of this coolant here. Once we're all set and this thermostat has opened up and our coolant is gone, we can go ahead and remove our funnel here and put our cap back on. Now from inside the vehicle, you want to go ahead and set the temperature to hot. You can set it on whichever you want, but I choose the face and the floor, and we're going to turn the heat on max. At this point here, after cycling the throttle back and forth a few times, bring the RPMs up, you want to go ahead and check for heat. Make sure that you have good, solid heat coming out of these vents. If it's still blowing cold, chances are the thermostat isn't open yet and you're not up to operating temperature. You want to leave this circulating for a little while. What we're going to do is plug up our funnel and go ahead and release this here. Just going to catch any residual coolant coming up. Go ahead and remove our fill cap here. I'm just going to put some towels around here so we don't dribble any coolant onto our belt. Once that's off, go ahead and put our cap on and go ahead and tighten that down. Go ahead and pop the cap. You can use a nice clean funnel. Go ahead and fill the reservoir or expansion tank to the fill line. It is clearly marked on the side of the tank. Using the appropriate coolant. Once that's filled up to the appropriate line, we'll go ahead and pop our cap on. So now that we have the reservoir filled, I want to go ahead and start up the vehicle, let it run again, maybe drive it around the block, get it warmed up nice. At that point there, you want to go ahead and open the hood and check the expansion tank. See if the fluid is below the full line. If it is low, simply repeat the process by opening up this cap, fill the reservoir to the appropriate line, and then pop the cap back on. I'm going to pop off our oil fill here.